A mixed
dimes.
Now, this one was crazy, right? I don't know how he saw that one.
Yeah, that's insane.
To Huff.
Yeah, now, I don't know how he saw that
that is
one.
the most church league-ass reverse right there ever from Huff.
Put respect on J. Huff, bro.
Under 3 remaining. Crowd wants Yuki to shoot. Rise behind the back.
Look at this freeze frame. See that blur? That's Yuki Kawamura, all 5'8" of him, blowing past a 7-foot defender like he's standing still. Now, watch what happens next. Kawamura stops on a dime, the big guy stumbles, and boom, Kawamura drains a 3 right in his face. This isn't a one-time thing. Kawamura's doing this night after night in the NBA. How's a guy who can barely reach the rim without jumping dominating the world's best league? We're about to break it all down for you. Just like that, Yuki Kawamura accomplished the unthinkable.
I'm bigger than you.
That's Big Brother basketball. Yuki, step back 3. Yes, sir!
His defense is looking like it's stuck in cement, despite the fact that he's 5 feet, 8 inches tall, making him the shortest player in NBA history. Nothing like this should transpire. Imagine a player who is so short he has to jump just to touch the rim, yet he dunks on 7-footers like they don't exist. The match that Kawamura played versus the Wizards, anarchy personified. The entire arena was absolutely blown away by him. What he did after that will shock you. For a moment, let's focus on Yuki Kawamura. Unlike most NBA players, this one is special. His height of 5 feet 8 inches is ridiculously short for the NBA. He feels dwarfed by the majority of the players.
Look at this. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Get excited. Get excited, Yuki.
Yep, he is thrilled. And lest you think, well, he's 5'8".
Professional basketball scouts? He was laughed off by them. They made fun of his height, saying he'd be annihilated by larger opponents. However, Kawamura, what they thought was completely irrelevant to him. Even more bizarre than his stature is, he was resolute. Think about this. Day in and day out, Kawamura trains in a deserted gym. Exercising his body to its maximum capacity, he is honing his shot and drilling his handles. He grinds while everyone else is out having fun. He isn't merely working diligently. He is working intelligently. He tries to compensate for his small stature with every drill and move he does. And what about all that effort? In the B-League of Japan, it was a huge success. To put it simply, Kawamura was unstoppable. He was dribbling assists like candy, making impossible shots, and dumping defenders one after another. He was too much for the league to ignore. Concurrently named Most Valuable Player and Rookie of the Year, what a rare occurrence. However, the most important question is, how would his abilities be adapted for the NBA? The NBA, that's a whole different ballgame. It's completely different from that. Larger players, quicker action, more challenging opponents. Does Kawamura have what it takes to compete with the elite? It was decided that the Memphis Grizzlies would find out. Kawamura took his shot, man. That was his chance. With an air of natural confidence, he strode onto that NBA court. Fear not, forbearance not, nothing but self-assurance and competence. It is time to test his mettle against more experienced opponents. Next up, we have the Wizards, who are a massive squad. After all that Kawamura has gone through, though, those gigantic beasts don't appear as terrifying now. He's prepared to prove to the world that heart always triumphs over height in basketball. Envision yourself as a 5'8" attacker up against a line of 6'8" defenders. I know, it seems crazy. That impossible scenario was about to become Kawamura's playground, though. He accomplished the unbelievable feat of making the Wizards appear to be playing at a snail's pace. Stepping onto the court, Kawamura appeared as bewildered as a child who had wandered into an NBA game by accident. The players for the Wizards dwarfed him, their bulky figures enveloping him in a suffocating shadow. Their defense was formidable, standing tall and prepared to stop any attack. What was this little guy to do? How could he possibly pass them? However, a bizarre event transpired afterwards. Once Kawamura got his hands on the ball, he seemed to be in every place at once. His deft footwork and lightning reflexes left his opponents bewildered as he sped past them as if they were frozen in place. The ball was halfway to the hoop when suddenly he found himself behind a wizard. The wizard's expressions were priceless, I swear. In only a few short minutes, their self-assurance dissolved into utter confusion. These NBA veterans were being drilled by a man who could likely lift them both by themselves. Observing it was like being a spectator at a magic show. You could tell it was happening, but you had no idea how. People in the audience began to notice what was going on. Some people gasped and cheered in surprise at first. The crowd's energy skyrocketed as Kawamura continued to twirl around the court, completing passes with his arms and legs like he had a basketball GPS. His adoring public went wild for every action he took. And then, as if that weren't good enough, Kawamura unleashed his trademark move. Probably under the impression that he could block any shot, he had the massive Wizards defender squarely in his sights. However, Kawamura, in the blink of an eye, he retreated just enough to cause a clap. As if it were magnetized, his three-pointer slipped through the net. The defender's hand was completely ineffective. It was an explosion in the arena. A pyrotechnic display resembling fireworks had been detonated within the structure. Everyone was going absolutely bonkers. Fans, teammates, and even a few Wizards players who were shocked just couldn't help but shake their heads. However, Kawamura wasn't finished yet by a wide margin. That was merely a small sampling. He was going to serve a delectable spread of thrilling maneuvers and mind-blowing plays. Everyone thought the Wizards had seen everything, but Kawamura, all he needed was a little warm-up. Keep in mind the speed with which Kawamura moved before. He was in first gear at that moment. His next move will be to demonstrate to the Wizards and the entire NBA what happens when he plays at his absolute best. Think NBA players can run the floor? Kawamura's level of operation is completely different. He moves as if he were wearing rocket boosters. The other players appear to be trapped in quicksand as he begins to move. That's crazy. Kawamura isn't just quick, though. Here's the thing. Regarding it, he is astute. He has this incredible talent for instantly changing his speed. Just a moment ago, he was coasting along, fooling the defense. Suddenly, it happened. The defenders are now in a state of disarray as he has departed, as if he possessed an additional tool that was unavailable to anyone else. Get a look at the Wizards' expressions. They have no idea where they are. In an effort to slow him down, they try to crowd him. However, Kawamura, he effortlessly maneuvers around them, as if they don't exist. Observing a hummingbird swooping from tree to tree is akin to that. What about his demise? This is absolutely out of this world. His quickness isn't limited to scoring. It's as if it bestows upon him an innate basketball intuition. In that split second, there were none. Now he's threading his way through them. The ball travels at such a high speed that the Wizards often fail to notice its departure until it lands in the hoop. Wondering, how are the Wizards going to stop this guy? Is a natural reaction. Let me tell you, they aren't able to. Kawamura's lightning reflexes are causing havoc in their defense. They're frantically rushing around, attempting to stay up. However, it's nearly impossible to do so without contaminating your hands. The Wizards' defense is in shambles by game's end. They have no ideas what to do and are so tired and irritated. Kawamura's reduced their efficient machine to a collection of replacement components. And that's not even the most insane part. Kawamura has other tricks besides speed. He's already begun and has a whole bag full of them. The NBA is about to see that sometimes the smallest things can have the biggest impact thanks to this little guy. Do you recall that we stated Kawamura is about more than just speed? You haven't witnessed anything yet, my friend. There are more aces in his sleeve than a Las Vegas magician. Because Kawamura is a total baller and not just quick, let's dissect his entire game. The question, can a 5'8" player really succeed in the NBA? May be on your mind. In response to Kawamura? Sure thing. In the Japanese B-League, this man averaged 20 points and 7 assists every game. Being named both the most valuable player and the Rookie of the Year in the same season is an impressive feat. Even the NBA is seeing the same intensity from him now. We should discuss his demise. Instead of merely flinging the ball around, Kawamura is deftly threading needles. He has this incredible knack for seeing plays unfold in advance. He seems to have some sort of extrasensory perception. As quickly as he dribbles toward the basket, he whips a no-look pass to a teammate who scores easily. The defense of the Wizards? They have no idea what happened to the ball and are left perplexed. How about his shooting? This is absolutely out of this world. That 3-step reversal we witnessed before, this move is starting to define him. Try to put yourself in the shoes of a 7-foot defender who thinks he has this little guy pinned. Suddenly, it happened. In the blink of an eye, Kawamura steps back, and the ball swishes past your extended hand and into the net. That's not merely a matter of chance, it's skill, period. Over there, Kawamura is putting on a performance, and the audience is in awe. He has a legion of adoring followers who are glued to their screens. He's gliding around the court with an ease that belies his diminutive stature, making plays that appear impossible. In real time, it's similar to viewing a highlight reel. Everyone is paying attention to Kawamura by the time the game is over. At the NBA level, he is not only competing, but he is also excelling. Even though the Wizards thought they had the game won, Kawamura's moves completely flipped their assumptions on their head. Heart and skill, not height, are what matter most in basketball, as he has demonstrated. Given this, where does Kawamura go from here? The remainder of the NBA had better keep an eye on this one. With each jaw-dropping play, this little guy is changing the game. Not only is Yuki Kawamura playing in the NBA, but he is turning the tables on everyone. He played the Wizards in a game. People, that is only the start. All eyes in the league will be on this guy because of his incredible abilities. What is absolutely insane? According to experts, Kawamura has the potential to alter our perception of NBA players with shorter statures. What would it be like? A 5'8" man shattering basketball ceilings? What on earth? His stature isn't the only factor, though. There's no stopping Kawamura's heart. When you're determined, quick on your feet, and skilled, size is irrelevant. And he's out there showing that. Moreover, his admirers in Japan are absolutely raving about him. To kids all over the world, he represents the possibility of greatness, despite a lack of physical stature, much like a real-life basketball superhero. So be careful, NBA. The world awaits Yuki Kawamura, who is prepared to prove that heart beats height in basketball every time. There will be huge ripples caused by this little guy.